Greetings, folks, and welcome once again to the reading of A Journey, an attempt and sometimes struggle at being real in this world. This is going to be episode 22, chapter 25, Pausing to Think. And we're getting right down towards the end of the book, so there'll just be a couple more of these things. It's been fun for me. Hopefully it's been enjoyable for some of you. So thanks for listening. So without further ado, pausing to think. If we pause to think, we will have cause to thank. These words can be found penned on a wooden plaque which is hung on our wall or sat on our mantel for nearly 33 years. Actually, a few years more than that now. Shortly after Carol and I were married, we were having coffee at a funky little cafe in New Jersey, which also had a small gift shop. When the plaque and its message caught our eye, we knew that it needed to live in our home. As life has continued to move us along with its good times, bad times, incredible times, disappointing times, take your breath away times, heartbreaking times, and times that literally nearly killed you, we found the words on the plaque to always be true. If we can just pause long enough to think and consider and remember and try not to freak out about the circumstances of the moment, we can see there's so very, very much to be grateful and thankful for. I won't pretend there haven't been times in life when I wasn't jumping and leaping and praising God and thanking Him for whatever was going on. There have been many. Those would be the times, though, when I've forgotten to stop and think. To stop and remember that I've been given a relationship with the Creator of the universe, that He's actually allowed me to call Him my Father, my Abba, my Daddy, and that He really and truly loves us and wants the best for us. If that's true, and if I really believe that He is watching out for and involved with every aspect of my life, then what's not to be thankful for? I'm not thankful for my screw-ups and bad decisions along the way. Those have consequences and can sometimes be pretty painful for me and for others. I am, however, so grateful that He loves me in the midst of my circumstances and in spite of my frequent screw-ups and bad decisions, and that He can and will and has worked those things out into something good. I've just needed to be open to the idea. Back in 2001, while hanging over the back seat of our van, sweating bullets and experiencing the worst pain of my life, as Carol drove us to the hospital, I didn't know what was going on, but I knew it was going to be okay. After finding out what was going on with my heart and aorta, and then flying by helicopter from the hospital in Silverdale to the one in Seattle, I didn't know what the outcome would be, but I knew it was going to be okay. Throughout the hospitalization and subsequent surgery, although I knew things were going to change and be much different, I knew that still it was going to be okay. It was going to be okay because no matter what, our Father God was there, and He loved us, and He would work it out. I was thankful for that. During this whole experience, I think Carol would tell you that she also had a strange and wonderful peace about the whole thing, and for that, she was very thankful. Probably both Carol and I knew that everything going on was totally out of our control, so better to trust in and be thankful to God than to freak out. The whole episode with the heart stuff was, I think, a good example of Carol and I being able to embrace the whole idea of stopping to think and finding cause to think, despite the circumstances. In 2014, we went through another major life event, but unfortunately on this go-round, we weren't able to grasp the whole concept quite so well. It was like a Norman Rockwell painting. Sunday morning and all the kids were at the house on Father's Day. We were planning to all go out for breakfast and then as a family go to church. I was such a happy dad. And then the painting fell off the wall. Just before leaving for the restaurant, Hannah, our oldest daughter, decided it would be a good time to tell us the news. What news, you ask? Well, the news that she was expecting a baby. We didn't see that one coming. Several months prior to our very memorable Father's Day, Hannah had been dating a young man who was stationed at the nearby naval base as a submariner. We had met Rashim, or RJ, on a few occasions and had even celebrated his birthday in her home. He and Hannah had, however, parted ways, and from what we knew about the situation, had not been going out for quite some time and were no longer even friends at all. Hannah informed us that she had every intention of keeping her baby, but that she and RJ had no intentions of being a couple at all. We were led to believe, in fact, that the father of our future grandchild had no desire to be involved in the life of this baby at all. It would be fair to say that I was doing a lot of thinking. Mostly, though, I was thinking about how I might be willing to spend the rest of my life in jail because I'd beaten to death the person who had engaged in thoughtless, uncommitted, loveless sex with my daughter. And as a result, her life and all of our lives were being changed forever. Don't get me wrong. We realized that Hannah was every bit as responsible for the situation they were in. I was, however, only thinking of killing him. I was not finding any cause to thank, not even a little. Both Carol and I were hurt. We were disappointed. We were angry. We were anything but thankful. I believe I even developed an ulcer. But thankfully, as time and as the pregnancy progressed, we both, little by little, came to our senses and were able to concentrate on how much we loved our daughter and how much we were going to love this new little baby. I had to also come to grips with the fact that as a young man, the condition of my heart in regards to sex was probably not so very different from Rashim's. I found myself praying for RJ's well-being. I found myself praying for RJ's well-being rather than planning how I might end his life. While changes were taking place in our hearts, they were also happening in the hearts of both Hannah and Rashim. Before a grandson was born, the kids had decided that they did indeed want to spend their lives together, and they wanted to be loving parents to their new baby. On February 11th, 2015, Carol and I had the incredible privilege of being with Hannah and Rashim at the birthing center when our beautiful grandson Caleb was born. Then on March 17th, St. Patty's Day, RJ, Hannah, Caleb, our family, and a few of the kids' closest friends celebrated the marriage of Rashim and Hannah Halliday. Granted, this was not the future I had envisioned for our firstborn child. But you know what? It's not about me or about what I had in mind. It's now about doing everything we can to support this young family. I'm so incredibly hopeful for their future together. Caleb is such an amazing and wonderful little gift. And the more Carol and I have come to know Rashim, the more we've grown to love him and discovered that he's genuinely a quality young man. I'm so very happy about that because I really didn't want to have to kill him. If we pause to think, we definitely have cause to thank. And that concludes Pausing to Think. Next chapter, 26, Unlikely Heroes. Until then, adios.